Hey, hello! This is Spors. I'm a postdoctoral researcher at Gamification Group based in Tampere University in sunny Finland. In this video, I will talk to you about our paper, Ecological Incongruence Becoming Sensitized to Nature in Video Games through Humanistic First-Person Research. This paper is a collaboration with my supervisor Professor Juho Hamari and my advisor Assistant Professor Oğuz Buruk. Before going any further, I will provide a small paper summary. To understand the portrayals of nature in games more deeply, I played video games that prominently feature the natural world. Across 3 months, I engaged with 8 games to understand how these portrayals made me feel, think, and relate to the wider world. Concretely, as research questions we asked, first, what can I learn from the process of becoming sensitized to current portrayals of nature in games? And second, which insights can we, as a team of scholars, construct out of my experiences? As such, this presentation will switch between I, to refer to myself, and we, to refer to all authors as a team. Before we hop into the details of the paper, I will provide some context for our work. Our planet is in danger. Pollution, climate change, and a loss of biodiversity are causing suffering and death now, and it's only going to get worse. Despite efforts from individuals, groups, and governments to keep our planet habitable, our relationship with nature is complicated and incredibly mediated. Here, technology and media play a significant role in shaping our understanding of nature. Examples for technologies include maps, GPS tools, nature documentaries, but also video games, which this paper focuses on. Video games are a prominent medium with a long-standing history of portraying nature. We can surf through vast desert dunes in Journey, we can roll through lush green forests in Sonic, or we can run through desolate, barren and radioactive wastelands in Fallout. However, digital portrayals of nature are not neutral occurrences, but they are designed and developed by people. As such, these artifacts contain implicit and explicit values and echo different understandings of nature. They reflect and shape our cultural views on how humans relate to nature. And in turn, they influence personal, cultural, and technological discourses about nature. As such, video games are increasingly influential in shaping our understanding of nature. Do they portray nature as something to exploit or shape? Or as something to befriend and care for, or something else entirely? How do you make sense of these many digital portrayals of nature? We draw here from 2 domains. First, one concept we rely on here is ecological incongruence, from humanistic psychology. EI describes how much we consider ourselves to be part of the wider world, and how attuned we are to our personal environments. Do we see nature congruently as another to recognize and relate to? Or do we approach nature incongruently as something to avoid and disconnect from? Next, we lean on the more than human turn in HCI to guide our investigation. A more than human lens seeks to contest the human being as the presumed most important actor in the world. Instead, it encourages us to recognize the tightly woven relationships between humans and everything else, including non-human actors. We bring these 2 notions together, a more than human lens and ecological incongruence, to explore what sensitizing ourselves to nature in video games could look like and feel like. To take you, the viewer, along this journey, I will first go over our employed methodology. I explored games through first-person research. Concretely, I used auto-ethnography and close reading of video games. Auto-ethnography is a qualitative, personal and researcher-centered way of conducting research. Instead of studying others, the researcher looks at themselves. They are trying to understand how their personal experiences fit into broader cultural patterns and construct meaning out of them. Besides self-reflective writing, a researcher can also use creative methods to deepen their understanding. For example, sketching, drawing, or in my case, making video game sketches. Close reading is a way of deeply exploring and interacting with texts. Instead of just trying to get information out of them, close reading invites us to emotionally engage with the text and see it as a rich, layered medium filled with meaning. When we closely read a video game, it means playing the game with careful attention and reflecting on it critically. With the methodology established, I will introduce the games that will be featured in this video. First, Minecraft by Mojang Studios is a procedurally generated open-world game in which players can gather and build with resources in the shape of blocks. Second, Stardew Valley by Concerned Ape is a role-playing game in which the player inherits a farm from their grandfather and moves out to a rural town to take care of it. To record my experiences and make them easy to compare, I created journal templates. I filled these in before, during, and after playing games. For a more detailed overview of these procedures, please check out our paper. We used thematic analysis to construct two themes that make sense of my experiences. Excerpts from our auto-ethnographic data are shown to illustrate these themes, followed by an explication to unpack them. Before we head into our findings, we want to give a little disclaimer. I did not have a good time during my auto-ethnography. While the following quotes are full of negative observations and uncomfortable descriptions, I encourage you, the viewer, to not view them as complaints about the game's contents. Instead, I encourage you to see them as momentary snapshots that describe my relational struggles, breakdowns, and potentials for nature in games. The first theme discusses times when I felt disconnected and ecologically incongruent from nature while playing games. Quote 3. The more I look at these cute pixelated vegetables, the less I feel about them. I put seeds in the ground, I water them, I go to sleep, rinse and repeat. It doesn't matter what relationship I have with each potato, or the watering can, or the soil they grow in, or whatever, none of it really matters. They always grow at the same speed, always perfect, completely forgettable. Stardew Valley, journal excerpt, quote end. This excerpt shows that as I played Stardew Valley more, its routines and interactions started to feel repetitive and empty to me. Even though the game is about farming, I didn't feel like I had a real connection with the environment or the things I grew in the game. Given my negative experiences during the second month, I felt like I had to recover from some form of emotional and relational whiplash, as showcased in the following excerpt. Quote 6. The unchecked absolute power I have been given makes me nauseous. The environments need me so profoundly, yet I will never belong to them. Quote end. Here, we decided collectively that it would be fruitful for me to revisit the data in a deductive manner at the end of the study, to map out concrete potentials for ecological congruence within the data. As part of constructing this congruent theme, I engaged in the making of 3 video game concepts as an artful auto-ethnographic practice. Here, I wish to illustrate alternatives to what I was playing. Congruent opportunity, cycles of life and death. Throughout playing games, I found myself reflecting on the cyclical nature of life and death, how it happens in the actual world, and how it is portrayed and made use of within games. The following excerpts exemplifies this complicated sense-making process, as it showcases how I try to understand dying and respawning in Minecraft. Quote 8. I realized that there is something about death that is super important for my experiences in and with nature. Being present in my body, being in an environment that moves, lives, and breathes. Something about the knowledge that if I die in a forest, I would be recycled. In Minecraft, death is comfortable. No corpses, no mess, just the knowledge that respawning is easy. Minecraft, journal excerpt, quote end. These considerations led to the following video game concept. The body is a vessel. In an exploration-focused walking simulator, you play as a humanoid protagonist. You are given a choice of elements, objects, and nutrients to ingest. Then, after having made your choice, you are free to travel around to find a place to die in. Your corpse will be digested and decomposed by the environment, supporting it to flourish. After being recycled, you respawn and get to do it all over again. You can visit previous places you have chosen to die in and see how the environment responded to your corpse. In this sketch, I tried to conceptualize a game that does not change how respawning works. Instead, I tried to imbue it with a different meaning so that each death is unique and impactful. I tried to design for congruence in ways that allowed the player to be still an important actor in the world, as dying and leaving your corpse behind actively shapes the game world. However, instead of it being an extractive action, it is an additive one with an unclear outcome. The player is not a detached, brutalizing overseer, but instead they are materially grounded in the world and an active part of its organic ecosystem. This design stance speaks to my personal, interconnected nature sensibilities and my own understanding of being an organic life form myself. Now, having unpacked the work as a whole, what did I learn from attuning to nature in games? Before starting the study, I had played many games that feature nature prominently, often with great enjoyment. However, the study did not develop in ways that either of us in the author team expected. A near constant current of uneasiness runs across nearly all of my journal entries. The more I played, the more detached I became. However, this emotional whiplash I encountered was an unexpected yet very important factor for the whole study. Here, both themes showcase that becoming sensitized to nature in games was not a linear process of becoming more familiar with it over time as an expert through repeated contact. Instead, it was an experiential procedure of becoming destabilized and troubled to reconfigure myself and my place within nature on a relational level. Here, I moved between naive player and critical researcher, between understanding myself as part of nature and being an outside other, and between my real-life nature experiences and nature experiences in-game. We ended up mapping out these oscillations as a space, and they form a relational gap. Using the concept of relational gap, we suggest ideas for the HCI community and beyond to take nature and video games further. Our design impulses are not absolute, but one of many starting points for thinking, designing, and wrestling with nature and video games. First design impulse: attuning to the relational gap. This impulse encourages you to explore your personal relationship with nature in games more deeply. Reflect on how you perceive nature in games and whether you feel connected to it. What does your relationship with nature in games look like? How does it shape your perception of nature as a whole? Where does your ecological congruence or incongruence become visible while playing games with nature? Second design impulse: designing for, with, and towards nature in games. This impulse encourages you to design games with a focus on nature as a pluralistic interdisciplinary endeavor. We encourage you to reflect on how games can portray nature in ways that promote ecological sensitivity and congruence. Consider how your vision of digitized nature could impact players' perceptions and behaviors, and challenge common discourses about nature in games. How can players engage with it? Which mechanisms and verbs are possible? Can you consciously design for or articulate the relational gap in games? What insights about your own ecological sensitivity could you gain through game design? And how can games as a medium engage with complex environmental issues? Thank you very much for watching. This video was made with the help of ChatGPT 3.5. We used it to simplify and shorten our script. This research is supported through the Academy of Finland Unite Flagship Grant number 337653 Forced Human-Machine Interplay.